Hey guys, welcome back to another entry of the Dry Diaries. It's your author, Alex Dry, and I am here with one of my best friends, Gabriella Gomez.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
How weird was it to say Gabriella?
I know, literally. That's why the intro, I was like, Gabriella.
There's a pause there.
Yeah, we call Gabriella Gabby. And it's so funny because the other night we were actually out and this guy comes up and he's talking to her and she introduced herself. Wait, you introduced yourself as Gabby or he asked you your full name? I think you introduced yourself as Gabriella.
I think I'm getting used to Gabriella.
And I was like, what?
Who is this girl?
Yeah. And then he literally was obsessed with her because he was like, oh my gosh, my name's Troy Gabriella, High School Musical. And I was like, oh my gosh, red flag there.
Red flag,
like,
run
please
away.
Run. Yeah.
Run away.
And then he like kept coming up to you and I'm like, is he really stuck on this like High School
followed me on Instagram, TikTok, did all the socials real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got weird really quickly. Troy and Gabriella. I've never even seen the movie.
Also, that's just such a weird infatuation to have as a guy because I feel like High School Musical is like
Get your head in the
metro
game.
feminine.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, so that was an ick.
Oh my gosh, me in middle school like learning the whole dance.
I've never seen the movies.
What?
Yeah, it's like after my time. Yeah. I'm your elder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So to give a little background on Gabby, she is a social media content creator. She also just hit #2 on TikTok Live.
Yes, we ended #2 in August, which is exceptionally hard to do. We got sniped off podium, which means somebody seriously wanted us to lose and was sending universes at the last second like you've never seen before. So it was an incredible feat for the team to be able to end there at the end of the day. It's hard to do.
Yeah.
It's an all-day thing.
I know. She'll tell me about it and use all these words like sniped, universe, and what in the Gen Z is this?
You're telling me, shoot, I landed here, then no idea how.
I know. But even at first, like me working at TikTok, I obviously knew what TikTok Live was. Yeah. But I didn't know until obviously Gabby brought it to my attention of how much people are actually making on TikTok Live, which is crazy. Yeah. And it really is a thing that you have to figure. It's almost like gaming in a way.
I describe it as an esport. So I'm an esport athlete. Thank you.
Yes.
I take it very seriously. And I was watching it and studying like an esport. Your fan engagement, the way that you build a team, the way that you rally the team and the strategy behind it is very esport. Yeah. And I could see it becoming an esport of sorts. Obviously, it's not a game specific, but it could be. But it's fan engagement overall. How much can you rally your team versus another team and get points for your team? Have your team put up points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like Twitch.
Very much. It's very similar. Yeah. I was matching up with somebody on dating apps constantly and couldn't get a date with them and started seeing him on my For You page. This is classic. This is so on brand for Gabby. So on brand. It's ridiculous. I kept matching up with him. I was like, why can't I get a date with this dude? This is 5 years running. What are we doing?
Oh my God.
We go to the same gym. What is actually happening? And I noticed he was doing this weird thing, battles, and I was watching, just noticing the patterns and realizing this is Tattoo Boy. Yeah. Yeah. And then he's up there in the ranks every single day. He's a live pro. And I'm fortunate that I was able to study him a little bit because he's been doing it for so long. So I've taken some cues and studied, and I used to get made fun of for studying it, but I took it seriously in esport. Yeah. And how do we find ways to build a team from nothing? Because my following, you saw TikTok, I had no following when I started.
Yeah, it's been crazy to see the growth. At first I was like, what is this? What is she doing? But also Gabby and I have worked in social media marketing for a long time. She worked with people like Bella Thorne on her jewelry brand. She also worked with Beats by Dre. So she has a very extensive social media marketing background. We also worked together at a smaller company, which was interesting enough to say. But I knew, I was like, okay, her being so analytical in the way that she thinks, what is her strategy with this? And I just can't wait to see this play out. And then it played out. And then she told me I'm making $50,000 a month. And I was like, okay, girl. Yes.
That's to get Live Pro. That's the minimum. You have to hit that in 1 month. After that, the maintenance is way easier. You don't have to hit those numbers. But to hit that, your qualifying month for Live Pro, it's that much. It's 10 million diamonds. That's something I talk about often on the stream. A lot of people are striving for that. And it takes a team to do. You can't have one person push you there. It's very hard to do that. So it is really reliant on a team to build up the team.
How many people get the Live Pro badge?
That's a great question. I've been asking for numbers. The statistic that I heard was 0.001% of TikTok live streamers, which I don't know what that equates to, but it's a small number. I'd say a couple thousand probably globally, which is crazy considering how many people are going live daily. Everyone from just your recreational streamers that just like to vibe and post music, and they often have 1 or 2 people in their chat or nobody in their chat, to people that have thousands in their room. And also the shopping side are qualified for that. There's a lot to it that if I start feeling like the guy from Always Sunny in that meme, with the whiteboard behind him of chaos, that's what I feel like when I explain it often. So I've been trying to drill it down so it's simplified. Anyone can pick it up and understand what's happening and get into it.
Out of anyone, I feel like you would be the person to get a Live Pro badge, because just how much, if she gets set on something, like Gabby is set on it, whether it's a guy, whether it's work, whatever it is, like she is set and she's gonna do it. So when she started doing it, I was like, okay, I never judged. I was like, you
didn't judge? Like secretly, like I won't judge you for judging.
No, not in a negative way. I'm just like, Gabby is always on live. Just Austin and I would always laugh because we're like, literally, if you can't sleep, just get on TikTok and Gabby will be there.
Yeah. And I only go live at night. So I have a joke that I tuck people in at night and I wake them up in the morning.
Oh my God.
Like especially East Coast were those hours. But yeah, if you have insomnia or if you need a space to come and hang out, like that's very much what the team is built like. And I think that's the cool part about the team for sure, is I've noticed that specifically.
And that's what I never, again, like it was never like a bad judgment, but Austin and I would always laugh. If you can't sleep, go watch it. And then also just knowing you, I'm like, okay, she has some strategy that she's doing behind
she's not
it.
just going live and missing out on things.
Right. I'm like, I just need to like watch this play out.
Yeah.
And also I had been traveling, so I wasn't in LA. So selfishly, I was like, oh, it's fine. Like she's going live. She's not
I know where she's at.
I'm not missing out on anything. Gabby is at home.
She hasn't had a new bestie. No.
I'm like,
you know exactly where I am.
She has not replaced me. No, not that anyone could, but.
No, of course not. But it's the general feedback that I've gotten is like people, especially that haven't watched the lives, that have just seen my clips on other platforms to promote it, or just fun sound bites that I've clipped. People generally don't understand what it is until they get in the room and they stay for a little bit. So I'm noticing you and Austin hanging out a little bit more. You start to get it a little bit more when you hang out more than 5 minutes, right? It's a different space than anything else I've experienced. And I've been in social media for 15 years. Like I started at a social media platform. I worked as an intern when I was leaving college at a video platform that was essentially Vine before Vine was Vine. It was video based, very much TikTok before it was a thing. And so I've known content in a different sense, and I've been studying this for 10 years. And most people don't understand that. Most people don't understand that I've built a shoppable video app platform. That in 2014, it was just so far before its time that all these things, all these patterns that I'm noticing, it's not just me saying stuff. And I feel like that's a lot of the time people are just like, okay, this tin hat girl, what is she doing?
No, actually, I think I've told a couple people this. I'm like, me sitting in front of camera and talking to an audience on my phone for hours at a time, I don't know if I can do it personally, but I was like, if anyone can do it, Gabby can do it, because Gabby is the best. That's why literally we're best friends, best wing woman, because if we go out, she can literally speak to a wall. And not only that, she gives them shit back if she's talking to them. So it's like bantering, just ongoing talking. And it's so entertained. Like I am so entertained the whole time. And I'm just like, great, this is great. I will chime in when I need to. And I just hang back. So, and honestly, it's so funny that I'm the one doing a podcast.
100%. You'd think it'd be flipped too, to some degree. But it's funny because I do joke about I'm safer at home on my couch talking shit than out in the world. Because most people haven't experienced what you've experienced, me out at a bar on a Friday night.
And you get like
talking shit and I get bored. So I just start to stir things up.
And give Gabby one shot. She's good to go for the night.
Yeah. And I'm new to drink. Like I don't drink really. So one little shot and
she's good to go.
That's something I've been recently trying to relax, which is because you knew me, I'm still in workaholic mode, but that's it's definitely a toxic trait of mine.
What, drinking?
No. Not able to relax.
Because it's mine too.
The fact that I have a hard time relaxing.
Yeah.
So like at least at nights I'm on TikTok live and I'm hanging out with friends essentially because it's one big FaceTime, and at the end of the day, you pick and choose who you go live with, you pick and choose who you battle, and relaxing and being able to turn off your brain a little bit has become a different space for me. I have my different buckets of relaxing, but that's been a priority.
Okay, guys, so now we're gonna start into our Dear Dry Diaries.
Great.
It is anonymous questions that people submit in, and I have myself and my guests answer them.
Perfect.
I always like to preface that our advice is not Bible. It's just what we would do personally. So take it as you want. But we're going to kick it off. So, perfect. Dear Dry Diaries, it's my birthday and I want this party to be unforgettable. I'm thinking either all out or something super classy and exclusive. What vibe should I do?
It depends what birthday, right?
That's what I was going to ask. My question to you would be, how old are you turning?
Yeah. I've never been the all out person. Even my 21st was not really all out. Mm-hmm. But that's also my personality type is much more in the zone of small numbers. Like my birthday dinner this week was 3 people? I don't have the energy to entertain.
I think that's a Scorpio thing because I have another best friend, Carly. Her birthday's the day before yours. Yeah. And I literally have to beg them to plan it out. Yeah. And I'm sending you guys reservations and both of you guys are like, I don't know.
We're used to sitting on the beach. Carly and I bonded over this last time is we are used to sitting on the beach with coffee by ourselves. And like, that's a solid birthday.
Scorpio woman energy for sure. Can't relate. My birthday is end of November. I'm a Sagittarius.
You were the opposite.
I am the opposite because one, I love planning a good event. I love throwing themed parties as far as decor, aesthetic, the planning of it, doing all the things I can to just make it look good. I would say now I'm different in the sense of before I was like everyone and anyone come. Now it's I don't have the energy to entertain everyone and my social battery is gonna die quick.
Yeah.
I would say exclusive is always better, and you can also make exclusive really done up. You could do a really nice long table, have a huge flower arrangement, do a nice dinner, and then maybe like a cocktail hour, whatever it is, because the older, I act like I'm so old, but the older I've gotten, I've realized that it's really hard to find really good friends. And yes, there's different categories of friends. There's like the going out friends. There's your best friends. There's your best friends that you don't talk to for 2 years, but you know that they're still there. So there's a friendship. But I think that the more exclusive vibe is something you'll remember more because you'll have more genuine, authentic conversations. And also a cute little thing. Some people aren't all about themselves. Not that I am, but like to have your friends go around and stand up and tell a memory or just sit down and like telling their favorite memory that you guys like have shared together.
I just think, I think it's cool. At a smaller, intimate gathering. Yeah. I think the guests remember it more because you get to know everybody at the table. So I think about my most extravagant friends. They've had birthday parties over the past couple of years and I've watched them evolve, and they started out intimate dinners, close circle, no new friends. And we've all grown together. And then recently they went and they had a big party, and the big party was not as impactful because all of us were like, it was too much. And there was so many new people that we were like, okay, great. We could go meet all these new people, but why?
Yeah.
The core group is still the core group and we're trying to like hide from the rest of them.
Yeah.
It's different. And I think there's something special to having this like annual get together of your friend group, especially if you have an eclectic friend group where I'm thinking about this specific friend, that group that had grown for 10 years together. We all do different things. We're all different ages. We all have different stages of life. And every year, twice a year on the husband and the wife's birthday, we get together. And it's like a rekindling of what have you been up to? Because we don't see each other outside of that. Yeah. He was the bond between everybody, which is a cool thing. With a larger party, you just don't get that same.
Also, if you're going to spend like all this money on an extravagant party, spending it on something that's a little bit more upscale and nicer, that has a more aesthetic vibe with the people that are close to you, I think is a little bit more memorable. And you're investing into something that is people that really love you for who you are, and they're not just there to get drunk
and party or free food or goodie bags, whatever that is. Yeah,
exactly.
The photos.
Okay, Dear Dry Diaries, I've been seeing this guy for a few months, but he's really hot and cold. Some days he's super into me, and other days he hardly texts. Should I confront him or just move on?
Move on. Consistency in everything. It drives me insane. The hot and cold will cause chaos and anxiety. He's causing anxiety.
Yeah. I disagree though.
But that's because you want to feel like you've got to. The push and pull is part of the anxiety that helps bond people, but also is a toxic thing and will evolve into a toxic relationship every single time for the most part.
But hot and cold in the sense of, is he texting you one day and then you won't hear from him really for 3 days, maybe during the week, and then you hear from him on Thursday? Yeah. Like, I think that's fine. If you're just starting to date.
It depends on the time of the relationship. Right. If it's even a month in though, and you're trying to move to the next step, that inconsistency, it's just starting out that way. You don't really have a baseline. Yeah. It changed. It just sounds like it changed.
Yeah, I would say it just depends on how long you guys have been dating. But if it's been a short amount of time, I would say let it play out and maybe go on a few more dates with him. And then once you get into something serious, maybe like month 2 or 3, and he's still continuing to do this, I'm always about open communication. So I would be honest with him. And if it still happens, then move on. But also, like, you're just dating, like, you're not in a relationship. So if you can keep your options open.
Which that's, I think, the biggest thing, too, is don't put all your eggs in one basket of somebody who's inconsistent. That's not good for you. Yeah. That's not healthy. That's not going to get you where you want to go, depending on what your intentions of dating are.
That's my red flag. Not even a red flag. I don't know how to date around.
Yeah, you don't. I'm like, sure, I'll go on a couple. I used to go on a couple first dates in a weekend, and that was like, okay, I'll choose the next one to move on to the next round. But it gives you perspective when you date a couple different people, because you get to compare them. Here's what I liked on this one date. Here's what I liked on this date. Gives you a baseline for, okay, am I entertaining myself? Yeah. Or are they genuinely interested in me? Because you get to see a couple different ways of interacting with you.
That's my issue.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. Dear Dry Diaries, I just found out my best friend's boyfriend is cheating on her. Do I tell her or do I stay out of it? You tell her.
You're always going to be the one that tells her, that is known for telling her, though. Depends on the relationship. You definitely, I think you can lead them to it without saying it. Ask some pointed questions and not be the one that bluntly says he's cheating on you.
Gabby,
I would absolutely tell you, and you would absolutely tell me, but I would lead you to it where I'd question a couple things first and see if you get there. No. And then if you're not getting there in like an hour, I'd be like, ugh.
No. If Gabby was dating a guy for a long time
and you saw,
it depends how you found out too. So if I found out because I didn't physically see it, but someone told me, and
that's not proven.
It's not proven. So I'd come to you and I would say, Gabby, someone sent me this. I want to let you know. I'm not saying that it's true. Yeah. But I want to let you know that this is what I've received. Yeah. I support whatever you decide or whatever your decision is. Yeah. But I just want to let you know the information.
Yeah. And that's the way to do it for sure. I think my follow-up questions always will be like, okay, who told you this? How did they find out?
Yeah, and I wouldn't gatekeep any information.
Nor should you in that case, for sure. But if that information is coming from a third party, not the person telling you too, it gets messy, or it gets into the place where it's now, okay, you're now just starting drama in our relationship. You're going to have that regardless. But if you have the proof or it's a very strong case, then okay.
Dear Dry Diaries, I've been dating my boyfriend for 2 years and he wants me to move in, but I have a small feeling it's too soon. What do you think I should consider before making the decision?
In today's economy? What? 2 years? How old are they? There's like qualifiers there too that I think are impactful. But after a year, if there's no progress, and progress meaning like we have plans to move in together, or there's plans for a ring, or intentions. Otherwise, you're just dating. This is a friend, strong friend that's not moving forward in any capacity, depending on your age. I'm at a different age bracket than you even. Like my dating, it's different because at this point, most of the guys that I'm dating, like they should have their life together. Yeah, they should.
I would say for myself, I'm like dating with intention of whoever I want to be a potential partner. I'm not saying the next person I'm going to date is going to be my husband, but I'm going into dates with that intention of it. Yeah. So I'm just going to say, based off of your question and you having a small feeling, that's all you need.
Yeah.
Listen to your intuition. Your intuition never steers you wrong. If you think it's too soon, it's too soon. But my question for you would be, are you waiting till marriage, or why do you have this feeling? Maybe he's not the one.
Yeah.
So
if you're already thinking that, it's not. It's a wrap for them.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. So just maybe think about all the different things that go into it, as far as what's my intentions of this relationship? Why is my intuition telling me this? If we move in, is it going to change the dynamic? Because also the other thing is, whenever you move in with someone, you learn a lot about that person.
Even if you live like across the hall, you're still going to have a different dynamic living with them, because they're in your space, you're in their space, and there's no reprieve whatsoever. There's no getting away from it. So those little things will start to pile up, and you'll start to see, okay, it wasn't so bad when I was just going to their place. Your place is spotless, but their place is chaos. I'm chaos. You see guys, like, I'm chaos. And
we're the complete opposite.
I date guys that are not chaos. They're very militant and tidy. And so in my head, I'm like, perfect. It's a balance. But I either, when I'm around them or when they're in my space for a week, even at a time, I'm conscious and I'm picking up and I'm making sure that I'm like making the space a certain way so it doesn't overwhelm them.
Yeah.
You're going to have a natural breakdown of that over the course of a year, even on a lease together. And that will end up being a problem, or it's going to change where I'm tidier and they're a little bit more chaotic. Like you find the balance, and if you don't find the balance, it's just going to cause more separation between the two worlds.
Yeah.
So
I think if your intentions are to marry this person, move in with him and see if he is actually the one, because you, again, learn a lot about somebody whenever you move in with them. We're both speaking from experience. And
I haven't actually lived with anyone that was about to.
COVID was like,
we were basically living together, but that's the thing, is he had hesitations. He had a feeling. He didn't want to do it right away. He thought we were rushing it. And I'm like, it's been a year and a half. I already got the place. You were like, this has been an agreement. This has been the plan for 6 months, is that in 6 months when your lease is up, you're moving in. And he pulled back. And that to me was like, all right, I'm out. You have doubts. We're done. We're good. We're good here. I don't need to waste any more time.
That's when I should have
risked it.
Cut it off.
Yeah.
Live and learn.
Forcing it.
Yeah. Dear Dry Diaries, I recently went on my first date that I thought went amazing, but he hasn't reached out since. Do I text him, or is it a lost cause?
This is where the follow-up questions of like, why do they think that it's amazing? Is it she just entertained herself for an hour, or asked him a ton of questions and he never really got to know her? So therefore, it's not a bond that he cares to know more about, which is, I think, part of my biggest problem is I'll get to know them a ton. They don't ask any questions, so they don't actually have a connection to me at all after. And then if they don't reach out, I'm like, okay, they don't actually want to get to know me.
Yeah. I would say if it makes you feel better, or what I would do in this situation is I would text that person and say, hey, I had so much fun, had a great dinner, or whatever you guys did, and see what his response is. And then if he doesn't respond for a week or whatever, I would just what I would do is I would send a text. I would say, thank you so much for dinner. I had so much fun. Whether he responds or not, go and keep your options open. And if he follows up, great. But if he doesn't, don't text him again. And hopefully his follow-up will be, I had so much fun. Meet me next Friday at this time, this place. Yeah. But if he's playing games as well, don't entertain it.
Don't entertain it. You're just forcing something.
Yeah. The thing I hate the most, which actually just happened to me, is when guys are chatting with you, right? Yeah. Texting, DMing, whatever it may be. No plans. But then that night, like at 7, they're like, hey, what are you doing? Yeah, let's hang out.
I'm busy. That's the beauty of TikTok Live, honestly, for me, it's cut that out completely, because I'm like, I'm busy. Yeah, it's very clear I'm busy. You know where to find me. Yeah. Like, you have to make plans, and I will rearrange things so that I can make time for that plans, but otherwise I'm busy, period.
My follow-up was I was already going to dinner with friends, so I said, I'm going to dinner with friends. I'm around this weekend. If you want to hang out, you can let me know.
Yeah.
Girls always want to date guys that are more obsessed with them than they
The only relationships, I've studied this in like my friends and my parents and their friends and family members, you name it. The only relationships that work are the ones where the guy is more obsessed with the woman. And they're like doing all the things to keep that woman happy.
We need to dig deep on this psychological level of...
Yeah. There's a lot there.
Yeah.
A lot there.
Okay. Dear Dry Diaries, I keep catching feelings for guys who aren't emotionally available. Why do I keep getting stuck in this cycle, and how do I break out of it?
Oh boy, I can't relate. Yeah, super can't relate to that. Are they emotionally available? Because probably they're not actually emotionally available, and they're attracting people that aren't emotionally available either.
Oh.
I think you attract what's a mirror. So if you're confident and comfortable with yourself, you're going to attract people that are confident and comfortable with themselves, or you're going to see it very clearly. If you're attracting the emotionally unavailable people and you're getting tied up in them or trying to chase them, it's usually because you're trying to chase some sort of validation, right?
Yeah.
You're seeking something and you're not actually emotionally available in the healthiest way possible. You could be, but it's probably not healthy in the way that you're trying to chase the affection. And that's a bigger problem within.
I also think it goes back to what we were talking about earlier of too many people these days are not intentional and upright with their communication at the beginning.
Totally.
And supposedly one of my guy friends told me, it could scare guys off. At the end of the day, like, then why?
It's the wrong guy.
Right.
Especially at a certain age. Like,
I don't want to waste my time.
I'm sorry, we're in our 30s. Mid-30s. I'm in my midlife crisis.
You're not in your mid-30s.
That is, I am properly in my mid-30s now. Officially.
Oh, I guess so.
Yeah. So if I'm dating somebody and they're scared away by commitment, they could be slightly younger than me even, beginning of the 30s. Like, they're not a place to be dating me then. Yeah. Period.
At the end of the day, you know what you want, and what you want is what you want. It shouldn't be swayed or altered by anybody.
No. So. And that's where I think I've made mistakes in the past for sure. As I've settled.
Everyone has.
Yeah. I was approaching 30 and settling for something that I didn't need to
because you thought that you needed to settle down by a certain age or time. And really you're doing yourself a disservice because later on it's not going to work out because you settled. And
the amount of emotional chaos that it brings in the meantime.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Dear Dry Diaries, I've been with my boyfriend for a year and he's great, but lately I've been feeling attracted to someone else. Oof. Do I tell my boyfriend or should I just ignore it? I need to know what you mean by attracted to someone else, but the fact that you're asking this question makes me think that it's not just a level of attractiveness of, oh, he's hot.
Yeah.
Because I think that if you're in a relationship, which guys that fault you for this or girls that fault guys for this are insecure. I think that you should be able to acknowledge when a guy is good looking or when a girl is pretty. And it's okay to be like, oh, that girl's so pretty or that guy is good looking. That's fine. That doesn't mean I'm going to cheat on you.
I love being surrounded by good looking people.
Yeah.
Even when I'm at my most insecure, I'm still surrounding myself with good looking people because like I appreciate it. They're striking. They're confident. They're usually fun because they're confident.
Yeah.
And I'll acknowledge it. Girl, guy, doesn't matter.
But it sounds like you are finding this person attractive on an emotional level as well as a physical level.
Which is fine. It's just, are you going to act on it? And that's where I think relationships are a decision.
Yeah, I think that
you decide to be loyal. You decide to be faithful. If you're choosing that you're going to act on something, then you aren't actually invested in choosing the person that you're with, right? You're choosing to go elsewhere for an emotional connection that's deeper than the one you've got with your partner.
Yeah. If you're finding yourself being emotionally attracted to someone else, you're not emotionally invested into the partner you're with.
Yeah.
So if I was you, I would really think long, deep, and hard and to yourself and do some self-reflecting. Is this connection really what I think it is? And is it enough to in the current situation you're in? And then be upfront and honest with whoever you're with.
In today's day and age too, there's so many different ways of having relationships. And as long as you're communicating what your needs and boundaries on both sides are, and even with somebody that's not able to communicate as easily as maybe they are, making sure that you understand their boundaries. If they can't communicate it, you need to understand it and confirm that their boundaries are a certain level. Yeah. Hey, do you mind if I have a one-on-one lunch with this person? It's casual, but I do enjoy their company. I do find them to be emotionally stimulating. Okay, that person in your relationship is either going to say, I'm uncomfortable with that, or
I would feel uncomfortable.
But not everyone does feel uncomfortable. They're secure in themselves sometimes where they don't see it as a threat. They're like, oh, cool, you found a friend. I mean, girl, guy, otherwise doesn't matter. It's some people just knowing some friendships and their relationships, they'll go to a lunch where they just genuinely enjoy the person.
If it's their friend, sure, of course.
But it seems emotionally fulfilling in other ways that their relationship isn't.
Then we shouldn't be together.
Not necessarily. Some people have different, I'm just being open-minded and seeing all the avenues here. Some relationships that I know are much more open.
Like people are in open relationships, of course.
Sure, but like it doesn't even need to go down the sexual path. It's more they allow their partner to go have fulfilling relationships in different avenues, even though they just know that the loyalty is there to them and they're going to come home no matter what. And it's a different, but that's their basis of a different relationship style than maybe like we want it all.
But they're never going to be physically intimate, or
who knows?
Are they?
It's an unknown. And sometimes it's an okay thing for some people.
That's an open relationship.
Sure. I think a lot of people don't define it as that as such just yet.
Because I think emotional cheating is just as bad as physical cheating.
Almost worse.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so why would
in my book. Yeah. But not everybody.
Yeah. I also want to just say this really quick. They find that, I find this other person emotionally attractive, physically attractive. So then they are quick to break up with their current relationship and then start dating the other one right away. And that is just never a good thing to do.
Never a good thing.
I would say like really just think it through and make sure that this is...
Have clear boundaries and clear communication with your current partner too. Okay, what does constitute as cheating to them? Because they might be the one that's confident and been like, yeah, cool, you're coming home to me. Love that. Love that you found a friend that can listen to your day or your problems, or you're connecting on a different level. Yeah. I do know friends that are like that really? They like the tension, they like the unknown of not having a sexual relationship with somebody, but they connect with them on a friendship level and then some. Like it's a very intimate connection, but there's a respect there for their current partner where they walk the line and they don't cross the line. So it's just a different style, and everyone's got their own, especially today. Everyone's got their own.
Each to their own. Couldn't be me, but
I'm crazy. I'm fully crazy. I'm demanding. I want it all. I'm going to not. There's lines that I very clearly won't share. I don't share well when it comes to that kind of stuff. So that can't be me, but I see those relationships and I can acknowledge them and I can see how the couples are okay and secure with themselves as well. And so I respect them for that. Yeah.
Dear Dry Diaries, I met this guy and he's amazing, but he has a kid from a previous relationship. I'm not sure if I'm ready to be involved in that way. What should I do?
You're overthinking it so soon. Who's to say that the relationship's going to last long enough for you to meet the kid? Cross that bridge when you get to it. Otherwise, you're stressing over something twice.
Yeah, and also I think that if you like him enough, then I don't think that there's anything wrong with...
Yeah. And you're going to see certain things come out where you're like, oh, dope, this person is a cool dad, or they're a great father, or the kid's great. Like you're going to see those things that are going to be more eye-opening, and you're going to walk into a relationship too, knowing things that are really helpful. But I think a lot of people, when they get into relationships, they start to have kids with somebody, they don't really know how that person's going to be. And so they have the child, and that causes a lot of issues. So you're getting like a test?
Yeah, but I would just say you should take your time before you get involved, and you should get involved when you feel comfortable. You should not feel pressured to get involved before you feel comfortable either, because I think that's a huge thing. They're like, oh my gosh, I love this guy so much. I feel pressured now to go meet the kid. And no, you can still love a guy and
want to respect,
be invested, but and respect that there's a boundary there. And I think that guys probably respect that as well. Yeah. For you to be like emotionally in tuned and mature enough to say, I'm not ready right now. I may be ready in 3 months.
I know people that don't hold up those boundaries or don't communicate those boundaries of, no, I don't want to meet your child until I'm ready to be in that child's life forever, regardless of where this goes. I'm at the point with all my friend group too, where a lot of them have kids. Yeah. Both the guys that I'm dating have kids, friends have kids. I've seen how the relationships play out when they have kids and they're trying to introduce significant others, and everyone has a different style of it. But I think the most healthy on the child too is
that's literally what I was going to say.
Be involved forever, regardless of where the relationship goes. They're still friendly with the child, and they're because they're an impactful part of that child's. If you're even together for 6 to 12 months, that's an impactful time period in a child's life that I think is important to keep that in mind. And be responsible with. But
I also think it's complimentative if the person that you are dating wants you to meet his kid, because that means that hopefully it should
and
mean
it's not a red flag
that he is dating you with intention of something longer term.
Sure.
Because again, meeting someone's child is a big deal.
It is.
So I would say hold up your boundaries, and whenever you're ready and you feel ready, then you should get involved. But until then, stick with your gut. Your intuition never lies to you. And don't rush.
Don't rush.
I don't have kids. I've never dated anyone with kids. But if it was me, I would wait till I felt ready, or I knew that it was somebody that I was dating with the intention of being with forever.
I've talked to a couple of people that have kids, and it's something that I'm conscious of, where I won't even weigh in on things when they're telling me about something that happens. I'll listen. Hate that. I'll listen. I'll absorb it. I will. Yeah, I won't even. Most of the time, I'm there to listen. I'll be there as an emotional ear, shoulder, supportive. But I'm not even going to say that I support your way versus your ex's way, or any sort. I'm not going to take sides.
No,
I'm Switzerland and then some. I'm there to support from an emotional standpoint, where it's vent, go for it. I'm not going to pick a side though, because I don't know the situation. It's not my place to weigh in.
And also, I would never give my 2 cents, because it's not my place to talk about your children. Those are your kids. And
unless there's other scenarios, which like if the ex is nowhere in the situation, that's one thing eventually. Or if you adopt the child,
of course,
like that's a different level. But that's a level of investment that you've now invested. Like you've really invested emotional.
Do you want to have kids?
I do. I talk about it all the time. I will become a mom eventually. It might look different based on my age and where I'm at in life, and I'm not going to rush things to be a mom necessarily. Like I'm not going to settle for somebody that's just going to fulfill that need for me.
Would you get a sperm donor?
Probably somebody that I know, to be honest. It would probably be someone that's like on that level. I don't think I would do someone that's unknown. I'd rather adopt that level, because I think there's a lot of kids that need adoption and need a stable home and deserve a stable home, but they just were given a bad card in life.
Yeah.
And that to me is like more important than having my genetics move on. And so that's something that I've been always conscious of. Like I've always said, like I'll adopt.
I want to adopt a kid too. So guys, in 4 years, whenever you see Gabby and I
with strollers,
hopefully we'll be married with kids. Crossed. But if we don't, then we will be living next door to each other, either on the beach or on a farm.
Probably both. We love a bi-coastal environment.
Yeah, with our adoptive kids or hopefully significant others.
Who do you think would have the best luck finding like that white picket fence and husband between the two of us? Like having a traditional marriage and kids and all the things. Who do you think?
Traditional? Define traditional.
Let's say one of us gets married and has a kid, and then the other is adopting. Who would be more likely to be which one?
I don't know. I think it's the same.
I think you'd be the marriage and kid type.
Yeah,
I'd probably be the first one to be okay with being a single parent, adopting, and vibing out.
Yeah, but also I feel like you're not even that much older than me, but maybe that would play a role into it in your mind.
Yeah.
But I think...
Yeah.
I just think maybe not that you don't want that or you're not ready for that, but I feel like...
You date with very clear intentions.
I'm very clear on my intentions.
Yeah, which I've been more open, especially recently, like just take it day by day. Don't stress on it. And like that does take a little bit more time to find somebody, but it also is just where I'm at emotionally, physically, mentally, career-wise too.
I think we just need to adapt a little bit of what each other's have
totally,
going
honestly.
On.
Yeah. Like I think that's hard. When we were... Did I crash a couple of your dates? I did. Last summer, I crashed a couple dates. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Like by crash, you dragged me on these dates.
Yeah.
I was third wheeling her dates constantly especially for two situationships. One specifically.
No.
One specifically.
Sure.
No, forgot about him though.
Who?
Totally forgot about him.
Yeah.
But no, and that one
was
great. He was great about it though. He was like, "Does Gabby want to come?" Like, he was
but
very social
boy
about
was
it.
like a one date, and like we randomly text here and there now.
But he had activities. He was the guy with activity. It was 2 dates, because one was a festival.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he was like, he was trying to make you feel comfortable and get you excited to go. So he was like dangling me as Gab can come. Loved it.
Yeah.
Love being the side wing girl.
Yeah.
Cheering you on. But that was an interesting observation too, because it's our different dating styles where I'm like, I disappeared for an hour and I went on a date. You're like, come with me. It was just very different.
I think and I have maybe grown a little bit, but I also was right out of a breakup.
Yeah. Different
so
stages.
I knew that I wasn't really emotionally ready to like deep dive into anything. Yeah. So I wanted to keep it light and friendly. And so I thought that in my head, like going on a dinner date or going to something with these people would be like giving them the wrong intentions. Okay, guys, we're going to go get a margarita. But thank you so much for watching this entry on the Dry Diaries. We will see you next time.
Bye.